From Buddhist monks in the high Himalayas to political exiles in South Asia's mega cities and refugees in Australia, Europe and North America, 91,000 Tibetan voters on 26th of April cast their ballots for a Tibetan government-in-exile in an election of major significance. We get you more details in our next report.
The 5-year Tibetan Parliament-in-Exile sits twice a year and has 45 members from across the world, 30 of whom represent 3 traditional provinces, 10 representing 5 religious traditions and 5 representing the diaspora. On the 26th of April, 91,000 Tibetan voters spread across 27 countries exercised their franchise in the final phase to elect their parliament-in-exile.
The Tibetans in exile, almost 90,000 plus, have registered as a voter, and today is the final election, and we expect that the percentage of the voter turnout would increase as compared to the preliminary election.
Headquartered in Dharamshala in northern India, the Tibetan Parliament-in-Exile functions as a representative body for an estimated 150,000 Tibetans living in exile worldwide. Earlier in the year, on the 1st of February, the exiled government's Sikyong or leader, Penpa Sering, was elected for a second term, after securing 61% in the preliminary round, a high enough threshold to win outright. The Chinese Foreign Ministry calls the Tibetan exiled government an illegal organization that completely violates the Chinese constitution and laws.
It's a direct message to China that despite their disinformation, despite their illegal occupation of Tibet and the false narrative that they are trying to promote the globe, all over the world, Tibetans are expressing, this kind of a signal whereby we continue our struggle and that we haven't given up and that we will continue to, move forward in this struggle.
This election is especially significant as the Tibetans worldwide brace for an inevitable eventual future. Without their revered spiritual leader, the 19-year-old Dalai Lama, the supporters of the Nobel Peace Prize laureate are only too aware of Beijing's proclamation last year that it must approve the Buddhist leader's eventual successor. The Dalai Lama says only his India-based Central Tibetan Administration, a key institution for the exiles, has that right.
Well, I believe that His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama was well aware of how his aging age could impact the Tibetan democracy, but more importantly, the Tibetan freedom movement. Hence, it was a deliberate effort from him to pass over the right to decide to the elected leadership. So he always knew what he wanted.
It is to be noted that the Dalai Lama, believed by the Tibetan Buddhists to be the 14th reincarnation of a spiritual leader first born in 1391, has been based in India since fleeing the Tibetan capital Lhasa after Chinese troops crushed an uprising in 1959. All eyes are now fixed on the 13th of May, which is when the results of this crucial election for the Tibetan Parliament-in-Exile are expected.